Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
My youngest daughter's 11. At the time she was 3. We were visiting the area where I grew up. I was giving them a little tour. We went to the graveyard where all my family is buried. And we had a little tour of the graves and said our prayers and plucked the weeds and stuff like that. And I said, right girls, let's go. It's time to go. We're finished. And she was 3 years old, couldn't read at the time, hadn't been there since she was a little tiny baby. And she said, no daddy, I forgot one. I said, no, that's it now babe, let's go, it's time to go. No daddy, there's one more, she said. And she left my grandmother's grave, walked out into the middle aisle, turned right, up 2 sets of graves, turned left, down 2 graves, and sat beside my cousin's headstone. Put her arm up in the headstone and said, you forgot this one daddy. Well, she frightened the living shite out.
Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said?
So check this out. My daughter's father passed away November of 2018 in a car accident. Maybe a few months before my daughter's 3rd birthday. Now, they were definitely thick as thieves. Girl, dad, daddy's girl, all that. Fast forward to this year. His nephew is currently incarcerated in one of the jails on State Road. There's no visitation, so they are doing video calls through like an Android tablet. So, my daughter and her cousin Diddy are on my iPad chit-chatting. He's rambling about something. She's barely paying attention, and the clock is counting down. So while he's talking to her, she starts to ball her face up and look, hard at my iPad. And she's like, what is my daddy doing there? And I hear it. Diddy doesn't hear it. But I'm like, I dismiss it. She's like, he's right behind you. Starts yelling at Diddy. Diddy still doesn't hear it. I'm like, Lotus, what are you talking about? I look in the tablet. Nobody's behind him at all. Not even in.
Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
So y'all know I don't have any kids of my own, but I do be babysitting. So I was keeping this 3-year-old little girl and her younger brother who was 1, and I was giving them a bath upstairs. Well, I had my back turned from the hallway that led into her little brother's room, and the little girl looks at me. She's like looking past me down the hall, and she goes, Miss Keswick, why did that man just walk in Jack's room? This was my face when she said that. And I was trying so hard to keep a face like I wasn't scared of shit, but the first thing that popped in my mind was, what fucking man? What fucking man? Like, I was thinking, I don't even know what to do at this point. Like, should I check in the room? Or I just was like, nah, I don't think a man walked in his room. As I'm sitting there inside thinking, like, if there was a man, what the fuck would I actually do? And I walked in the room as slow as shit as I could. And I don't.
Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid...
So it's August 5th, the date of my second son's 5th birthday, 2017. We're sitting at the doctor for his 5-year-old checkup with him and my then 1-year-old son. A lady comes in with a set of twins and a double stroller. So my 5-year-old looks at me straight face. Hey, Mom, you need a double stroller. What I need a double stroller for? You're 5. You can walk. Kanan's 1. He has a stroller. He says, not for me and Kanan. For Kanan and the new baby. Just like that. New baby? Ain't no new baby. What the hell are you talking about? I immediately leave the doctor's office and go straight to Dollar General. Buy a pregnancy test. Piss on the stick. Positive as hell. How the hell?
Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid...
I'm not a mom, but I am a Thea of TikTok. When my nephew was 3, he kept talking about seeing angels. One day, I saw him pointing at a crow, and he was like, look, an angel. And I was telling my sister, bro, we were over here really thinking he was seeing angels, and they were fucking birds. My sister was like, no, you need to ask him about the angels. So one day, we're in the car, and I was like, hey, buddy, tell me about the angels. What do they look like? Do they have, like, wings with feathers? And he said, yes. And I said, does it have a beak? He said, no, those are birds. They have human faces and bodies and black wings like birds. And I said, oh, well, they're good angels, right? And he said, no, but it's okay because the light makes it go away. And I said, the sunlight? And he said, no, the light that opens up in the ceiling. When it shines on them, they go away. And it's beautiful up there. And I said, beautiful up where? He said, when it opens up, there's a bunch of clouds and it's so beautiful up there, Tia Mimi.
Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
We had some friends buy an old farmhouse. Their kid was 2, maybe 3 at the time, and he had a really hard time sleeping in his new room, and he would always end up in his parents' room at night. We went to visit. When we got back in the car, my youngest, who was 3 or 4 at the time, said, "Mommy, I don't want to come back. The woman with the red eyes is really scary." "What woman with the red eyes?" "The woman with the red eyes sitting in the kid's bed, pointing, saying they wanted to go home." I called my friend and I said, "I know why your kid doesn't want to sleep in their room." So many stories.
What is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
Okay, so this one right here, she's been talking about someone named Hannah. Thought she was just talking about her cousin. She talks about how Hannah plays with her, and she loves Hannah. And then one day, she told me that Hannah was in the bathtub. And I was like, girl, your cousin is not in the bathtub. But she was for certain. She took me in the bathroom, and she looked in the bathtub, and she told me that Hannah was in the bathtub. And then it got me thinking, and creeped me out. When I was little, I had an imaginary friend named Hannah, and we ended up having to sage our house because of her. I live 5 houses down from where I grew up.
Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
Story time. My son is not your average boy. Like me, he has an eye for detail. At the old apartment we used to live in, he could not fucking go to sleep. Like, at all. I looked at him and I said, "Panda, why the hell are you still awake?" And he looks back at me. "I'm scared." I said, "Panda, you're a toddler. What do you have to be scared of?" Thing is, this has been going for weeks, possibly an entire month. His ass wasn't trying to go to sleep at all. I'm talking about he stayed up till like 3 or 4 in the morning. A toddler. He looks back at me with the biggest eyes, crying hard as fuck. "Don't make me go to sleep." I looked at him like confused. The fuck is wrong with you? And honestly, what he said next, I thought it was a joke until he was being dead ass serious. She said if I go back to sleep, she's gonna kill me. On top of that, she also said that she would eat me after she killed me. I said, hold the fuck up. Bring that shit around and back to me. The fuck is you talking about? Who said that? He said the girl in my dream. She said that she wanted to kill me and eat me. I was trying to calm him down, saying that no one's gonna get him. And I even assured him, hey, if someone tries to get you, I'm gonna beat him up. Sure enough, he falls asleep. About an hour later, shit hit the fan. He's still unconscious, and he begins screaming and crying bloody murder. He was screaming so fucking much that he threw up in his bed. So I woke him up to basically wash the sheets and stuff. And when I took his shirt off, I noticed he had these long ass scratches on his back. I was like, what the fuck? So I ended up letting Panda sleep in the bed with me. And as weird as it sounds, I went into his dream. He was inside of an empty house. And he was running. And that's when I seen her. This like 8-foot tall, extremely skinny bitch with long fucking fingers. And really long black hair. These warped ass eyes and fucked up face came chasing him. When I tried to stop her, she grabbed my arm. And that shit decayed on touch. So then, I ended up eventually getting him out of the fucking house. And we ended up waking up. And sure enough, I got a call on my phone. Apparently, my friend's kid seen the same bitch. So it wasn't just Panda. It was a few other kids too.
What is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
This one would not be my kid. This would be some random child in, it was a Sears, some sort of department store. Anyway, we'll just say Sears for the sake of the story. Anyway, so this little girl runs up to me and gives me a great big hug. And she says, Daddy, I missed you. And there's a mom and a dad. And they're both looking at me and looking at each other, looking at the kid. And the mom says, honey, that's your daddy. She says, no, he was my daddy before. In my last life, before you were my mommy, he was my daddy. And he says, then I'm like, the fuck? And she goes, okay, Daddy, I gotta go now. I love you, bye. And I'm like, bye, kid. That memory still bothers me.
Yeah, nobody can take away the things we share. Hope you don't mind how I need you like that. The way I love you, they don't understand. And it's crazy how you're my best friend. You're always in my mind, let's dance to the rhythm of your heartbeat. The way I love you, they don't understand. And it's crazy how you're my best friend. You're always in my mind, let's dance to the rhythm of your heartbeat. Dance with me, 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 dance with me.